So you've been getting a lot done, which is great. Feeling so good.
Completion. That's my goal.
I need you.
It's fucking glorious, actually.
It
No,
feels
I
good.
suck at, although I'd probably be good at helping somebody else with it. Then it's like your body is, bitch, please. I'm just getting closer. I was just 1 inch every day, just moving it 1 inch every day.
Wow. I
Yes.
realized that's what I need to do with drawers that there
Mm.
are overflowing with stuff that I know I won't use, but I don't want to throw them into the landfill.
Mm.
They're going to end up in the landfill anyway. Whether they
That's,
end up in the
yeah.
landfill in 10 years or 5 years or next month,
Oh.
because I'm not going to use them. And even if I did use them, the plastic would still end up in the landfill. So why am I keeping them? This is good for me to talk about. I can't get this sucker light. Let's.
Yeah. There really is something about what we hang on to. Yeah, part of it was hanging on to like anger or fear, whatever it was. And we have that about stuff,
Hmm.
clothes or whatever the fuck's around our house. And it's so nice to clear it. And I have been really feeling strongly that I've wanted to change up the energy around my house. You can't feel in integrity in your life, and there's fucking neglect everywhere you look around your house. This might be an episode.
I know. I'm like, we should probably look better for this, but I don't think anybody cares.
Well, you can see my
Oh,
eyebrows. I'm kind of a
like,
mess, but
okay.
yeah, let me pinch. I've been
Oh no,
doing
you
about,
look red. You look like you were hot.
oh, yeah, yeah, I
Like,
am kind of
you were
sweaty actually.
working. No, you're good. I like
I've,
it.
yeah, I think I might have been just now doing about 4 or 5 hours of yard work and like heavy stuff, like moving rocks and crap.
What you said about how can you respect yourself? You didn't use the word respect, but how can
Feel
you
in
respect
integrity.
yourself, feel and
Yeah.
live in integrity if you're surrounded by neglect? And oh boy, but it also hit me like my office. I'm just looking around my office, but it also hit me. How can we live in integrity if we neglect our bodies?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling heightenedly aware because I'm pushing my body to do this
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And part of
Mm-hmm.
my long list of items I feel like I'm benefiting from, just to recap, I've been doing about 2 months of not intense 8 hours a day yard work, but pretty much every day, a few hours.
Yeah.
And for 2 months, that's the long time. And so listening to my body, I was really neglecting it. Like I'm old
Mm-hmm.
enough where if I do physical labor,
Mm-hmm.
I should take a freaking Epsom salt bath
Yeah.
at the end of the day. It makes a huge difference. It lowers inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
There
And
were
stretching. Keep going. Keep
there
talking.
were days when
Oh
my
yeah, you
back,
my camera's off. You can see the neglect of my
I
office.
can
Okay, go
actually.
ahead. Uh-huh.
My
Yeah,
ca-
that sucks.
it's all my body at times was like, what in the F are you doing?
Yeah.
My back was so stiff and sore some days. I agree completely. And I do want more integrity. There is a relaxation that comes with all of that. That yeah, and
Totally.
Jen is sighing if you can't see her, although she's lovely and you should tune in. She looks way better than I do. But anyway, we were not prepared to record, but
I
we're
know,
just
but we're
being
having a good
ourselves right
chat.
now.
We're having a
And
good chat.
yeah, and you know what?
Can
I
we start
love seeing,
organizing?
oh my goodness. I love seeing these piles on your desk because that's what it is. It's you can have that ever like our garage.
Oh.
Holy crap.
Oh God. Okay. Can I just tell you? I love it when the world manifests around you. So talking about this whole taking care of yourself, I just came back from the dentist. You asked how I was, and I was like, I have not seen a dentist in probably 12 to 14 years. Yep. I said it.
Wow.
Yeah, I said it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I went and saw the dentist. It was not nice. It hurts if you have that much plaque and calcium buildup. I was like, oh, but I
Yeah.
learned all this stuff. And he said, truthfully, I can't believe how good this all looks. It's amazing. You haven't seen a dentist in how long? Like, you look amazing. But it got me realizing I must have this nerve figured out. Like, they have to take a get this. They have to take a part of the roof of your mouth and then they sew it into an exposed
Oh,
nerve section. Have you had that happen?
I did have it twice.
I've heard it's quite painful.
I don't remember it being too bad.
Oh, okay. Because the doctor said My sister just had it done and she's a dentist and she came back and said, "Why do we make people do this? It hurts so bad." So I was like, okay, maybe she has a low pain tolerance. But anyways, I have to
Yeah.
have that done.
Hmm.
And I realized, oh, okay, hold on. That's going to be a lot more than what we normally are allotted for in our dental plan.
Mm.
And so I came home and I said to Alex, hey, I need to check on, I'm just saying this out loud to you. I need to check on upping our dental plan for next year because I'm going to have this stuff done. I'm like being
Okay.
proactive, right?
Hmm.
Guess what just popped up on my little email? Review your benefits for the end of 2024 to set yourself up. And I went, oh, that is instant manifestation and going with the flow, which we talked about on our last
Yeah.
episode of
Yeah.
going with the flow and taking care of things and respecting yourself enough to take care of yourself.
So there's two things I'd like to say. Let me just write this
Please.
down.
We weren't even going to record today. We were just going to have an intuitive conversation and to give each other intuitive conversation stuff.
Yes. So in the going with the flow, I've
Yeah.
realized I've spent so much time and I feel like what I've accomplished visibly, what you can see, the evidence of my work does not seem to add up to 2 months. And then I realized that part of it is that I spend a lot of time pacing around. No, I don't want to do that. No, I don't feel like doing that
Oh,
yet. No. So that's part, and
yes.
again, back to the avoidance.
Just going to clean up the office while you're
There you
talking.
go. Jen's motivated now.
I am. Go ahead.
Avoidance and neglect, basically. And like, why? What is the point? Not like I want to be busy all the time, but when you're in the mode of getting stuff done, just freaking do it. And so this
Just do
morning,
it.
I was very mindful to be very intentional with all of my steps. If I walked this way, I brought two things with me. If I walked back, I tried to bring things with me. No, in my mind, no putting it off. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a big project that I really don't feel like doing. But then I was like, but I got this other part so close to completion, and I'm feeling
Mm-hmm.
really good about that. The gum thing you're talking about is called gum grafting, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember it being especially painful. And I'm a total baby when it comes to stuff like that.
Okay.
And
They
I
have
had that
sutures in your tongue and they do,
in the
right?
roof of your, I don't know
Yeah, or
that
in the
they
roof of your
suture the
mouth.
roof because I think it heals quickly if I'm remembering correctly. It was years ago, but I did
Okay.
have it twice. If it was super awful, I probably would have tried to weasel out of the second one and I did not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
And you
get
have
that.
to get laughing gas or something while they're doing it, which by the way is fucking
Oh.
fabulous. I
Okay.
remember saying to the dentist, "Oh, I wish my husband was here." Because I was like all flirty and in the mood.
Uh,
Um, and I had, and as far as manifestation,
insurance
so
stuff right here.
it
Look at
had
this. Go
occurred to
ahead.
me because I'd be teaching my next mediumship class in person, which I haven't done before, like
Oh,
5 minutes from my house, which is very cool. And just as it occurred to me, oh, I really should start a development circle. The next
yeah.
day, my favorite teacher of mediumship, Tony
Uh-huh.
Stockwell,
Yeah.
offered, and I don't remember seeing this before in his offerings, a class teaching you how to do development circles.
Amazing.
So I was like, oh,
Amazing.
thank you. Yes. And I signed up.
Guess what I just opened? Literally, it's time to renew your health plan for 2025. You
Wow.
can't make this shit up, as Denise Carell says. You can't make this shit up.
Yeah.
I
Very
finally opened this. How long has this been sitting on my desk? I don't know. Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
love it.
But maybe we could look at it, maybe. And look, I'm not always in the flow of getting stuff done or in that mode, but we can't,
Yeah, I know.
I just really am clear that we can't feel in integrity, grounded and centered really in our lives when we know we're neglecting something. And neglecting is a strong word, but there
I
are
neglected my
things
teeth. Mm-hmm.
you totally neglect. Maybe you've been
Mm-hmm.
are you a
Mm-hmm.
flosser?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
See,
floss. Are you? I love how. I love how you, are you a flosser?
because I not like a judgment, not a judgment, but when I go to the dentist, I don't have one cavity except I had a filling where I cracked a tooth.
Mm-hmm.
So I just salivate like a maniac, and apparently that keeps you from getting cavities.
Well,
I
that's
don't know if
good
you
to
knew
know.
that. That's, yeah.
Positive.
Apparently it's a thing about for Southern people. I don't know why I do that. Don't ask me, but that's what my last dentist said. She's like, "You're like a fountain." Um, but every time I go and I use the little like the little brushes, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm always
Oh,
told that's not enough, you should floss. So in my mind, when you floss and brush,
oh
you're
yeah.
good. Like you're actually doing all that you can.
Mm-hmm.
So that you've been flossing and obviously brushing. Probably really
No, I
how
brush like once a week. It's I floss all the time, but I
this is
brush.
actually an intervention. Alex called me and he wanted me to talk to you about this. Everybody from our audience, please email Jen and encourage her to brush her teeth more than once a week. It's a desperate situation and she really needs our help and our love.
You're so weird. I do brush my teeth at least twice a day, sometimes a lot more than that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Now, are
Yeah.
you a tongue scraper?
I actually occasionally am, but I'm more of a
No.
tongue brusher.
I definitely brush, but I
Mm,
brush my tongue every time I brush my teeth. But
mm.
when I scrape my tongue, I feel like the taste of everything is more enhanced.
Oh, I better start doing that more then because I need help with that. I don't do that very often. I think I actually did it yesterday, or I thought to do it yesterday. I don't remember.
Mhm.
I was going to be around a bunch of people and I don't remember what I ate, but maybe something with some garlic. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I better do the extra.
Yeah. All of
Hmm.
it though, yeah, all of it though is really surrounding respect and love for yourself. I mean,
Yes.
whether it's your sex life or it's orgasms or taking care of kidney stones or all that stuff, UTIs. I learned some interesting stuff about my
Yeah.
vagina.
Please.
Yeah. Okay. I had a 1 inch kidney stone removed from my kidney. They
I
thought
thought
it
it
was
was
only,
eight
yeah, they thought it was only eight
centimeters.
millimeters. No, not centimeters. Centimeters would be like that.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
What do I know? Yeah.
that would be like 2.5 inches. So they thought it was 8 millimeters. It ended up being over that, as in he said, oh, it was bigger than a centimeter. Oh, okay. This is one thing. I'm going to get this all wrapped up into my vagina soon, but I'm going to give you the background. Since, and I'd love your thoughts on this, since opening up more to the greater energies around us, has your sensitivity in within your body and pain changed?
Oh, man. That's a great question. I feel like, for me, I feel like I've been on this path for a long time of opening
Mm-hmm.
up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also the person that has like certain amount of like numbness or disconnection.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting when I go to the chiropractor, which I've been doing regularly for probably 2 years,
Nice.
just for maintenance, like every 3 weeks, unless I hurt myself and then more. And she will do different adjustments. It's not like the cracking you. She's got this little
The
trigger thing. Yeah,
yeah.
the clicky.
Mm-hmm.
And she finds all these spots. And I'm like, none of this hurt before I joke with her, thanks a
Yeah.
lot, lady, kind of thing, because suddenly I'm like, ouch, ouch, where she's doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But I typically don't feel any of it. I don't know if a different person would, but it makes me think that I am more disconnected than I'm aware of normally. How
Mm-hmm.
about you?
Okay. Thank you for asking. I think it's gone back up before opening up to this world and
Hmm.
training and doing things.
Hmm.
I was very numb. I was very disconnected from my physical form. Go
I
ahead.
just want to clarify for people
Mm.
that you're talking about opening up to like spirituality and mediumship,
Yes, not sexuality.
not sexuality in your vagina. Okay,
Correct.
please.
I know this is all going to tie a bow maybe in like 45 minutes if we're lucky.
We've got the time, Jen. Help
Yeah,
yourself.
I promise. Just wait for it. We are punchy today. Just wait for it. Okay. I do believe I was disconnected from my physical form for a couple of reasons. One, I liked being higher energy. I liked being higher vibe.
Mm.
So I necessarily wasn't spiritually connected, but I always ran, and you guys can tell just by listening to my voice and also watching my hand movements. I am quite high energy. Definitely, they wanted to put me on Ritalin as a child. Thank goodness they didn't. My mother, thank goodness. So I always was up here. And I think that was a
Mm.
great way. If I was always vibrating up here, I didn't ever actually have to be here in this form. I
Mhm.
also always associated with focus, Jenny, because they used to call me Jenny. Focus, Jen, you need to. I heard it all the time.
Mm.
And the whole concept of grounding, I always thought was a negative because who really wants to be down here in the heaviness of earth? I would rather be up there vibrating high. It all makes sense when you look back on it. So I had always trouble grounding because I was
Mm,
negatively associated it.
interesting.
And
Okay.
now I know that the best way to fly is to
Mm,
ground.
hmm.
Okay. Learn all this. So my pain tolerance in all of that was very high because I was not in my form. I almost died, actually. I had such a high pain tolerance. When my late 20s, I walked through 3 DVTs and had 2 pulmonary embolisms, and I could have just died, stroked out, died. hmm
Wow. I
Because
didn't
I
know
walked
that.
through this. I was like, oh, it's just like a little leg cramp. No big deal, just a little leg cramp. I must be overdoing it. And then I kept saying, when I started seeing, in the cartoons, when they show a hammer hitting your head,
Hmm.
like not your head, but a character's head, and you
Hmm.
see these stars.
Hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was happening. That actually does happen. If you are low in oxygen, that stuff starts happening.
Wow.
And I just kept blaming it on it was after the holidays and I must have gained weight. And Jen,
Mm.
get yourself together. All this. Okay, almost died. High pain tolerance, really high pain tolerance. I'm going to bring this all back. When they removed my kidney stone that was a centimeter large, that's this big. I had a stone that big, a centimeter big. I could feel the hole where it was in my kidney. I could
Wow.
feel it. I came home from the hospital and I told my mom, I know exactly where that stone was.
How old were you when this happened?
This
Because
was
you
just
have a history of kidney stones.
correct. So this third surgery was just a month ago.
Oh, so that's a recent one. Okay.
Correct. So that's the thing. I used
Wow.
to have kidney stones when I was in my early 20s, and I would separate from my body. It was the first time I understood that you can completely have an out of body experience. I just separated from the pain and let my
Um,
body stay there. And I psychologically went over here. All this must have been training for what I was going to end up doing. Like, oh, it's very easy to go out of your body. I've done it for years. So, anyways, the reason I bring all this up is because I am more sensitive
mhm.
to actual pain now as a result of my spiritual awakening. I hate that word, that phrase.
Interesting.
However,
Hmm.
I'm also very still high on pain tolerance, but I could feel the
Mm.
stint. I had a stint this long from
Oh.
my kidney all the way out my bladder. I was in excruciating pain. I actually passed out once because I was in so much pain. I smacked my head on the floor and laid there and woke up and was just bawling. My mom was like, oh my God, and all this. But it's this weird thing is where I still have extreme pain tolerance, but I'm also more sensitive to it.
Hmm.
It's a very weird, that's why, and but this is all coming since starting to work on my connection to spirit. And
Mm.
I can tell you, I knew where that was. Okay, now let's get back to the vagina because this is actually what started this. So I started seeing a urologist to get the kidney stone out. But then I also said to her, I this UTI thing, it's still present like before
Mm.
this kidney stone. And she said, we got to get the kidney stone out because there might be bacteria connected to the kidney stone. We probably talked about that at one point.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
She said, I'm not sure the UTI is associated to the kidney stone. It might be associated to the lowering of your estrogen levels. And as a result of your lowering estrogen levels, you have a more susceptibility to bacteria. She said it happens all the time with women in menopause or perimenopause.
I've
Okay.
never heard this about menopause.
Perimenopause,
Huh.
you increase UTIs. And it's
Wow.
because of that lowering of the estrogen, which
Yeah.
means your vaginal walls and thin.
Hmm.
And then when you have sex, because it's drier, there's more friction, which can create small tears, which then, if there's bacteria in there, it can increase your susceptibility. then she also said, which I had no idea, your vagina naturally cleans itself. So the mucus in there and all of the working together, it naturally cleans everything out. You increase your dryness. There's less mucusy. It's less cleaning. So then there's more bacteria. All of this stuff were I was
It
just
adds up.
incredibly
Yeah.
cool to me. I was like, whoa. Then I said, okay, what's this whole dryness thing? I told her, I said, I sit here and I can feel my vagina. Now, part of it's probably my awareness as a result of working and talking with you more, but I can also feel the dryness and I can feel the soreness.
Mm.
And I had told Alex, when I wipe with really nice tissue, it hurts. It's irritated. I can feel, I'm like, ugh.
Wow.
She said, have you tried hyaluronic acid suppositories? And I said, no, but I've heard about them because somewhere on Instagram I saw them talking about it. It's this suppository that it's hyaluronic acid. So just like plumping up your face moisture,
Yeah.
it plumps up your vaginal moisture. And she said 2 or 3 times a week, put it on when you go to bed, put in a panty liner, put that in, and it will start naturally supporting the lubrication of your vagina. Cool.
Sounds
And
very cool. I'm actually remembering that before I started pelvic floor therapy, the gynecologist recommended some kind of like lubricating suppository. And I was like, I don't have
yeah,
not that I'm really having sex, but
working on
I'm
it.
not aware of dryness. And so it didn't really make sense to me why I would be using lubricants. And let's do our disclaimer right now
Oh,
that
yeah,
the
we're not
information
doctors.
presented here is informational in nature and is not and of course, I can't think right now, but
We are
medical
not
advice for
intending to
anybody.
give you medical advice. Exactly. We are not doctors. Go do your
At
own
all.
research. But I was fascinated by this. Then she also said, I want you to start using coconut oil. And I said, oh, because she said it's a natural lubricant. She said, I know you try to be as natural as possible. And I said, okay, yeah. And I said, so are you telling me like I should dip my finger in coconut oil like every day and rub it up inside my vagina? And she said, no, just before you're having sex. I said, okay, I didn't know. And she said,
Mm,
you're my best patient. She said, I love you. You're one of my favorite patients. She keep asking all these questions. She wasn't laughing at me because I asked my questions because of how I asked it. But she
yeah.
just said, I said, I didn't know if that was
Mm.
support. She said, you can use it long term. She said, but just use it when you're going to have sex. And
Actually, I've
now
been
my,
doing that
yeah,
for years.
you have.
We've
See,
never
I live
talked
under a
about that.
rock. No.
Yeah, and I took a Tantra workshop, and one of the things she did, the workshop was about using a crystal wand. It's not real
Yes.
crystals, it's just glass, right?
Mhm.
And it's meant to reach your G spot. It's this fancy, almost looks like an old pipe kind of thing, the shape of it. And she had taken coconut oil and made almost, I hate to use the analogy, but a bullet,
Mhm.
like that size thing. And she had put it in the fridge or the freezer. And then you inserted it into your vagina, and then the coconut oil like oozed in the best possible way. That was my favorite part. Because you could just
And
feel
it was
so lubricated.
cooling.
It was
Yeah.
wonderful. I love coconut oil in my vagina or on my vagina. Yeah, we do that because I don't remember us using like actual lube, but I wouldn't want to. And I used
Mm.
to get a lot of UTIs, so I'm very conscientious of what I use. And coconut oil, it's next to my bed and has been for years. Yeah, we never talked about that, but yeah,
No,
I'm
we've never.
glad that this was recommended to you.
A
Yeah.
whole conversation of lubricants would be great too. Pros and cons of lubricants, and
Yeah, yeah,
and if there's like hot ones or spicy ones, it'd be interesting if there's different
yeah.
kinds of lubricants. I'm just saying, why not?
Jen's all excited, talking out of the side of her mouth, like, I
Like,
might have to
oh my
investigate
God,
this.
whatever. I'll do some market research. I'm like, Alex,
We have a new one.
have you ever okay? Have you ever put an Altoid in your mouth and then gone down on your husband?
No,
Yes, it'll blow their mind. I should not be talking
really.
about this.
Does the flavor matter?
Hypothetically,
Hypothetically. This is not going to
make
be
it
misconstrued as medical advice, just to be clear.
no. Just spit all over you. Oh my God. Make it a mint variety.
Okay.
Make sure you do this.
Ah.
It'll rock their world.
So describe what you just did for people who are listening, please.
I just meant bring the air in because it's cooling on you too, but it's you
Oh,
bring the air
and then
in when you have the Altoid in
wow.
your mouth.
Hmm.
We might have to, I will have to ask Alex if that's okay if I said that. I have to
That's
edit
what
that
you
one
are
out.
doing, not how he's responding.
True. And an Altoid in my mouth could just be like right now. I highly recommend when you have an Altoid in your mouth and you go like that, you can feel the coolness on your own mouth.
You can. You can.
There, it
Yeah.
says there. That is
Okay.
what I'm going to say. Hmm. Might be something to think about. Mhm. I will also tell you that I finally had sex again when we were in Hawaii
Oh, good for you.
after
Is it 3 months?
four.
Oh,
I think
honey.
I had had sex once in 4.5 months.
But with
Oh,
that UTI, good, my goodness.
just
Yeah.
and then the stint was in there and I'm passing out and it just was horrible and just
Yeah.
yucky and uncomfortable. And it was very nice.
Good for
Yeah.
you. I'm
And then
happy
he
for you.
reminded me the value of orgasm. He's all,
Ah.
you need some orgasms. I was like, yes, I do. Thank you very much. Yes, I
Nice.
do.